This is Event Decor 101 with iHeart's Black Business, and today we're draping a 42-inch high, 30-inch wide Highboy cocktail table. Let's start with tablecloths. This is a spandex table cover. This was made to fit either a 30-inch wide or 36-inch wide cocktail table. So it will work on any 42-inch high table. It goes all the way down to the floor and it has feet tucked under so that the tablecloth will not rise when you move the table around. This is one of the most convenient ways to drape your table. You will find this multiple times at birthday parties, baby showers, and other engagement parties, and other social events such as that, because it's an easy way to add a pop of color without having to add any extra maintenance. You don't have to worry about guests tripping over your tablecloth. You don't have to worry about it blowing over if you're having an outdoor event. This is typically the safest way and most convenient way to add some color and style to your draping. Here we have a spandex table topper, also called a cap. It is made out of the exact same spandex material as the original tablecloth that we have underneath here. This can be used on a bare table or in addition to a table that already has the spandex tablecloth. This is a great way to add multiple colors to a single table. So this is a way for you to elevate the style of your event without having to use more space. It is also an efficient way to increase the deluxe capabilities or the luxury of the event that you have here without adding an additional cost. These spandex table toppers are not much more expensive or even as expensive as the spandex tablecloth here. So a lot of times you may find these at themed events, maybe even for these two specific colors, if you have a Nickelodeon themed or maybe a Barney or other child's cartoon or themed event. This is an easy way to add multiple colors to a single table without having to use more space to get your whole theme across. Next, we have a 115-inch round tablecloth. This 115-inch tablecloth will reach all the way down to the floor. Also, you can find a 114-inch tablecloth as well. They're a little harder to find, but these will also cover the 30-inch diameter table all the way down to the floor. If you have a 36-inch wide Highboy table, you're going to want to use a 120-inch round tablecloth to cover that diameter. Next, we have a 120-inch round tablecloth. We're using this tablecloth on a 30-inch wide Highboy because we are tying a bow around the bottom. To tie the bow, you're going to want to use a 13 by 108-inch sash or table runner, whichever one you have, and that'll be able to tighten that 120-inch and still cover the feet of the table while not puddling on the ground. If you're using a 36-inch wide Highboy, you're going to want to go up one size and use a 132-inch round tablecloth and use a smaller size sash to tighten that up. So you're going to want to get a 13 by 102-inch sash or table runner to use as a bow for your 132-inch round tablecloth. And finally, we have an overlay here. For a 30-inch wide cocktail table, I would suggest using this 54 by 54-inch square tablecloth, also called an overlay. So this will give you a nice even amount of hang without going too low towards the middle of the table where it's the most narrow. So if you have people that are standing at the table, it won't get too much in their way or be hitting them in their clothing. Or if you have people sitting in high chairs, there won't be too much of that tablecloth laying in their laps. If you have a 36-inch wide cocktail table, it would be better for you to use a 60-inch overlay. Now let's recap. Here we have our 30-inch wide Highboy cocktail table. We first covered it with a spandex tablecloth. The spandex tablecloth can cover both a 30-inch and 36-inch wide cocktail table. Next, we put the spandex topper on top of it. That spandex topper, also called a cap, can also cover both a 30-inch wide and 36-inch wide cocktail table. The 30-inch diameter can be covered with a 114-inch round tablecloth. That tablecloth will go all the way down to the floor. If you have a 36-inch wide cocktail table, you're going to want to use a 120-inch round tablecloth for that same purpose. If you want to tie a bow around the bottom of your table, you're going to need a larger tablecloth so that the feet of the table are still covered at the bottom. For a 30-inch cocktail table, I use a 120-inch round tablecloth with a 13 by 108-inch sash. You can also use a table runner if you have any of those. They come in the exact same length. If you have a 36-inch diameter cocktail table, you're going to want to go up one size and use a 132-inch tablecloth. That round tablecloth will go all the way down to the bottom of your cocktail table. And if you use a 13 by 102-inch sash, that should be able to tighten the tablecloth tight enough where you can actually gather most of the material in the middle and still have the feet covered on the floor. And finally, we covered the table with an overlay. The overlay for this 30-inch table is 54 by 54 inches. For a 36-inch diameter, you're going to want to use a 60 by 60-inch overlay. If you do plan on using table runners, you can use table runners of any length here because the table is so narrow. I would advise you not to use any table runners unless you're using an overlay for your aesthetic purposes to make sure your design is consistent and you don't have extra fabric just hanging off the sides. It's more aesthetically pleasing if you have it attached to something else. So if you have an overlay on your table, for instance, you can go ahead and toss that table runner on top because the table runner will be right against that overlay and it won't look like any material is hanging off. Also, if you're using a regular round tablecloth, such as the 115-inch or the 120-inch tablecloth, you can also use table runners on there because, once again, the table runner will be right against the tablecloth and it won't look like you have free material just hanging and blowing in the wind. And once again, if you're doing an outdoor event, it is highly recommended to use the spandex tablecloths because you won't have to worry about the wind blowing any of your material around, and it has feet on the bottom, so it secures it directly to your table. They are also much easier to clean than regular tablecloths. If you found this video informational, make sure you like it, you share it with your network, and subscribe to find out more videos. If there are any other topics that you would like us to cover, or if you have more questions about cocktail tables, whether they be 42-inch high or 30-inch high, or 30 inches wide versus 36 inches wide, make sure you leave those questions and comments down in the comment section. Thank you for watching Event Decor 101 with I Heart Black Business.